Meet Sionna, the daughter of a countryside noble living in a mansion in Lake Bell in the Caspian Empire, waiting for her father's return from his travels. She learned that he is coming back with a gift for her, and she is not used to receiving gifts from him and woke up 2 hours earlier than usual to get ready for this event. She wondered what type of gift it is, whether it be a new dress or some books, but to her huge surprise and extreme horror, it's a person, it's a slave, with red blood eyes, which is a bad omen in the Caspian Empire where Lake Bell is located. Little does she know that meeting this boy is the best gift she has ever received in her life, but also the worst. This is The Bondservant, a mature, dark romance. Love, Like, or Leave It Alone is the segment where I review a series by going more into detail after saying a quick summary and also giving you the cons and finishing on the pros and telling you at the end whether I love the series, like it, or plan to leave it alone and move on and read other series since my time is limited, and maybe so is yours. Stop here if you don't want any spoilers. I don't tell you the full story to help you figure out if you want to give it a try or you want to skip this one. Sionna lives in her home with her family, Twain, her father, who ignores her existence, and her brother Eli, or Ellie, who is quite violent. Both of their attitudes so far is justified by Sionna's mother dying in childbirth and then blaming her for her death. There's staff that lives in the mansion as well, but Sionna is closest to Martha, who is like a personal maid slash nanny that she has had since a child. So far in Sionna's sheltered life, Martha has been the only person who actually showed her a type of care and also some comfort, but being a part of the staff, her care and comfort is still limited among what she can do facing her father and her brother. This is a very mature manhwa depicting violence and other things that are written in trigger warnings before chapters. Sionna's brother acts nice in front of their father and in public, but behind closed doors and when she's alone, he is very abusive, verbally and physically, to her and to the new boy in the estate. Her father hurts her by his neglect and absence, and Sionna, even though she is sheltered, she realizes that even though she loves her father, he is not necessarily a good man. The unexpected gift arrival to the mansion starts to make her realize this. She watches nervously this unknown boy and learns not only is he hurt and beat up, he also cannot talk. Yet she has to be mean and act like her brother and father in front of them unless she wants to be even more bullied behind closed doors. She pretends to mistreat him, then go behind her back to try and fix it. She later learns his name is Etienne, and he's more than what meets the eye. Etienne has been lying. He can talk. And he hides another secret that nobody knows. He's not a slave. He's actually the heir to a dukedom of the neighboring empire. But what happened was, he had to run away because his stepmother orchestrated the murder of his family. So he took a boat and went far so he couldn't be found. He ran away and made a deal with a sorcerer to change his hair color and hide his identity, which left him with a mark on his wrist, which led him to being mistaken as a slave. No one knows anything about Etienne because he doesn't talk about his past, but Sionna is persistent and follows him around because she has no other friends her age and she likes to walk around the countryside. So she takes him along with her. They keep spending more time together, which leads to the relationship evolving and blooming into more than just a noble lady and her servant. During this time, the two main protagonists continue receiving abuse from the family members, but also other characters are introduced in the mix. To be honest, all the characters, most of them, they're bad. I'm just gonna put it out there. Again, I'm not here to spoil the whole story. They're not all bad. But it helps with the evolution of the story and you just understand more what's going on as a whole. The more characters are introduced, the more we see Etienne get more and more and more possessive. Given this violent environment, Etienne seems to be losing his sanity slowly but surely, but he isn't the only one. Cons. To start it off, if you're a seasoned manhwa reader, the cliche of the mother dying in childbirth and your father or siblings hating you for it is very common. Eli's cruelty, Sionna's brother, makes no sense to me because even the father, he is cruel and he's a noble, they're playing it like off like that, and it still makes sense. But Eli, we need a background story to what's going on, because it's not like he's imitating his father. He is 10 times worse. So we need a background story to know if he saw his father treat his mother like this. Where is he getting this from? Because no one is as cruel as him. Again, all the trigger warnings, because even it rhymes with grape, it goes to that extent. There's more chapters to come, so we might get more background on that. But for now, it's the biggest mystery to me why he's this evil. And even the depictions, other cons of the violence, some of it is too far. I'm glad I kind of like skimmed through, because I was like, can't. So if you're sensitive, please do not read this manhwa. It might not be for you. Pose. The pacing of the story and the art style of this manhwa is beautiful, and it stands out from other art styles that I've read. The color palette as well throughout the chapters, it kind of makes me feel like you're reading like Instagram. I don't know, I don't even like Instagram that much, but it's like it's the same template colors, if that makes sense. Because usually in manhwa, like main protagonists, depending on who, changes their outfits, their colors, etc. But even if they change outfit, it's still in the blues, the reds, all of that. And the characters, besides Eli, make sense. Like even though Sionna is sheltered, you actually see the evolution of her thinking, or the deterioration. Okay, depends. Same for Etienne. Even like the art style reflects like the mental state, especially of Etienne. There's a lot of symbolism among the art, like the red chrysanthemum, which symbolizes an anime like death and maybe rebirth sometimes, but it also symbolizes love and passion. There's roses, red roses, also symbol of love, but also there's a lot of Christianity symbolism throughout the chapters, which you see it's like a mental battle with Etienne as he keeps going down a path that seems like he's going to Yandere. You're seeing the depiction getting more and more, I would say, in your face with it. And if you don't know what Yandere is, it's basically in manga, in anime, a character that is very possessive with their love and wants to like kill people. And they love that person so much, it leads them to murder their opponents or anything that gets in the way of them being with that person. Everything that's happening since both of their childhood, both of them have a distorted view of like their life, and it's starting to affect how they see what's outside of both of them. So that's interesting to look at. Graphically, a manga that is similar in depicting violence and also mental back and forth and messed up situations is A Sweet Dog Neck, and not in the story plot. It's completely different, except it being drama and also a manhwa. Also, a pro is that certain things that I'm predicting are not happening, or maybe haven't happened yet, or as fast as I thought they would, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's little things, but it's still things I'm like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting it to go that way. When I think, oh, it can't be worse, it does get worse. That's the best I can say. And even like now, it's over 20 chapters, and I'm like, it's possible. It won't be like, it can't get worse. But I'm like, it has to, because they're not young. Then they are still kind of sane. So I'm like, should I be scared? So am I loving it? Am I liking it? Or am I leaving it? I'm liking it, so I'm gonna keep reading it. But it's a tentative like, because depending on how extreme it gets, I might have to leave it. But for now, I'm liking it, and it's gonna be a like. Let me know your thoughts if you have read this or if you're going to read this. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't, but this was maybe manga, manhwa, and anime. See you next video. Subscribe, share, like, and take care. Bye.